If you have a 2010 to 2013 Toyota 4Runner and you're still rocking the factory headlights, you have to get the Morimoto XB LED headlights. These things are gonna blow your mind and change your driving experience forever. The factory halogen headlight bulb reflector headlights that came on your 4Runner from the factory are bad at best. They don't look bad, but the performance is nothing compared to modern headlights. And the Morimoto XB LED headlights with built-in LED projector low beam, built-in LED reflector high beam, and a modern LED daytime running light are not only going to transform the look of your truck, but it's also going to improve your safety because you will be able to see better at night. You'll be able to see farther down the road. You'll be able to see wider out to the sides of the road. Other people are going to see you better because your headlights are better. You got this daytime running light, and they will completely transform the look of your car just by going with this blackout modern projector look. These things have a built-in projector low beam that gives you that really incredible modern razor sharp cutoff beam pattern that everybody wants. This is going to give you the same driving experience as brand new luxury vehicles. And the high beam is now an integrated LED reflector. So you save a little bit on the cost of the unit by having a reflector high beam, but it's a way brighter high beam than what you have now. So the whole thing is this major upgrade. On your stock headlights, the parking lights built into the headlight is a traditional style amber incandescent light bulb. On the Morimoto XB headlights, it's all integrated LED. You see you've got this reflector system on this side that has chips on the top and bottom, and they illuminate the whole thing amber. So it's a lot brighter. So that's part of the safety aspect, but also part of the style aspect. When that's turned on, these things look awesome, and everybody can see your amber running lights. Your turn signals are still down in the bumper, so this doesn't affect your turn signals at all. This is low beam, high beam, parking lights, but you also get this modern style LED daytime running light. This is a modern technology designed for safety to help other people see your vehicle better during the day, but it's also a really cool styling upgrade. This line of this follows the lines of the front of your truck, and when your headlights are off and you're cruising around the city during the day, it's this super bright white light. It's impossible to miss, and it completely transforms the look of your truck even during the day. And at night, when you turn your headlights on, it dims to 50%, just like a modern vehicle's daytime running light works. It's totally DOT compliant. This is how modern headlights are built, and it's going to blow your mind when you get these installed on your truck and go for your first drive at night. When it comes to the construction of this headlight, there was no expense spared. This may not be the most expensive headlight in the Morimoto XB lineup, but the lenses, the internal construction, and the base with the brackets is all made the same. They're designed to be as good, if not better quality than stock. One of the things that you'll notice is a lot of aftermarket headlights will have pitted lenses over time. They'll crack, they'll turn yellow, they'll get pitted and cloudy, and that's because they don't UV protect them. These actually have a state-of-the-art modern UV protection on them that modern luxury vehicles also use. It's UV resistant polycarbonate, and the back of the headlight is designed to replicate the factory headlights perfectly. You retain all of your factory mounting points. You still have your vertical adjusters, your horizontal adjusters, and the wiring is exactly like stock. The install of these is a piece of cake. On the back, you can see that all of your factory brackets are reused, so all of your original mounting hardware, all the original mounting points are reused. It installs just like a factory headlight. You retain your factory style adjuster screws so you can still modulate it up and down. These should be aimed out of the box pretty good, but if you want to change that at all, it's very easy to do. And then the wiring is just like factory. You have your low beam connector that plugs into your factory low beam wiring, your high beam connector that plugs into your factory high beam connector, and your parking light connector that plugs into your factory parking light connector. These three are the exact same wire harness connectors that your factory headlights use. There's no modification, there's no cutting, no splicing, no funny business. It's literally as easy as it gets. Totally plug and play. The only extra thing on the entire install is this single blue wire. You see, your 4Runner doesn't come with an LED daytime running light from the factory, so we have to figure out how to turn it on. And to do that is so easy. In just a minute, we're going to jump into the install, and Adam's going to show you that all you have to do is connect a single plug-and-play wire to this connector and run it to your fuse box with a fuse tap. Even then, there's no cutting, no splicing. It's super easy to do. Now let's take a look at your original halogen headlights for your Tacoma. In order to explain how much brighter and better the Morimoto XB headlights are to your stock headlights, we have to do something called a lux measurement. We use a digital lux meter at 25 feet, and we measure the actual usable brightness on the wall. Then we swap out for the LED headlights and do the same test. On low beam, your stock Tacoma headlights only come in at 260 maximum lux. They're not very bright, they're not very wide, and they look really old. In comparison, the Morimoto XB LED projector headlights come in at 640 maximum lux. That's 146% brighter than what you have now. Now let's move to high beam. Here's what your original halogen beam pattern looks like. It's a pretty large beam pattern, and from its time it's fairly respectable, but it's still only 650 maximum lux. That's like the same as the low beam on the Morimoto headlights. When we turn on the Morimoto LED high beam, we get this, 1,280 maximum lux. That's almost twice as bright as the stock high beam, coming in at 97% brighter. Now let's show you how to do the install.
To start off, we have to open the hood. Now that we have the hood open, we need to remove the 13 push pins. There's 3 rows you can see right here. And on this middle row, there's 2 on each side that are kind of hard to see. Make sure not to forget those. Just use your pry tool and pop it out. Again, make sure not to miss the ones in the corner by the headlight. Now with all the push pins removed, we can lift this right off. Next, we have to loosen up the front bumper in order to reach the bolts on the side of the headlight. There's 6 push pins and 1 10mm bolt. Lastly, we have 3 bolts on the fender well that we have to remove. Do the same step for the other fender well. To loosen up the bumper, make sure to grab along the edge and pull towards yourself. You have to give a little bit of effort. And it comes loose just like that. Now that we have the bumper pulled down, there's 3 bolts that hold down the headlight. To remove the bolts, use a 10mm drill or ratchet. This is the bottom bolt along the headlight housing that we had to loosen the bumper up in order to reach. The last bolt is hidden underneath this weather stripping. Just simply pull it back and it will reveal it. There are 3 tabs you have to pull up in order to remove the headlight. Here, and 1 hidden down below. For the last tab, make sure you put a hand underneath the headlight housing and 1 on top, and to simply pull towards yourself, like so. Now with the headlight pulled away, we can take off all the connectors. Make sure to press firmly on the tabs. Sometimes it can be a little bit of a pain, but they'll come off. The next step is to remove this trim piece right here and put it on the new XB housing. There are 2 Phillips screws to remove from the back. It should come right off. To place the trim piece on the new XB housing, just line up the plastic tabs, like so. And then make sure to feed the screws in from the back so you don't scratch up the housing. Make sure to tighten the screws down all the way. The next step is to remove the fuse box. Use a set of needle-nose pliers to remove this 10-amp fuse. Plug the DRL harness in and close up the fuse box. Now we can run the DRL harness. Make sure the shorter red side goes to the driver's side and the longer black cord goes to the passenger side. Usually I like to run the passenger side cable along the core support of the radiator just for cleaner fitment. Now before we bolt the light up, you want to make sure you plug in your connections first. We'll start with the turn signal. Next is DRL harness. Next connection is the low beam. And finally, the last guy on here is the high beam. Now when you place in the headlight housing, start off with this bottom tab right here, and please be careful so you don't scratch up your new housings. Just give it a push and it goes right in. Now simply press in these top tabs, make sure it's aligned along the fender here. Now when reinstalling the bolts, make sure you start off with the bottom one first so the top ones will align properly. Make sure to put the weather stripping back down again. Now before you put the bumper back on and the grille, make sure you run through all the functions of the headlight just to make sure everything's connected properly.
Whether you want to improve your driving safety, the style of your vehicle, the lighting performance, the Morimoto XB LED headlight is the best option in the world, hands down, for your 10 to 13 4Runner. Go check out the website to see pricing, technical specs, and other information, and put your year, make, and model in the homepage, and we'll show you everything that fits your truck.